So the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition gets another approval. This is the 38th country to approve the deal, and that country is China. They went ahead and they approved this deal unconditionally without any remedies that have to occur to push this thing through. It says here that Microsoft's planned $69 billion acquisition of Activision received approval from China's antitrust regulator. China's State Administration for Market Regulation granted unconditional approval for the deal late in Phase 3 review, according to a deal reporter item, which cited sources familiar. So a big approval, China coming in here and just saying, no problem, deal can go through. Anybody's going to be able to play these Activision Blizzard games on whatever cloud streaming. Obviously, things in China are different than over here. Everything's probably really locked down. Who knows how much access they actually are going to get to the stuff. We know that they already had the issues with Blizzard pulling out and not making another deal with NetEase. So there is a lot of stuff here when it comes to Xbox, Activision Blizzard, and China, but they have gone ahead and approved the deal. And when it comes to countries that still need to rule on this, it's Korea, South Africa, Turkey, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. UK have blocked the deal, and then the US have sued to block the deal. And we'll see what happens. I think the FTC one is very interesting. The FTC is going to stand strong. At least for now, they're going to make it look like they are standing strong. But with the EU approving it, I think more pressure is on them to come to an agreement before they go to court August 2nd, especially if they're looking at the information that is coming out. They're looking at a lot of the stuff that the CMA argued that the EU shot down, specifically when it comes to like things like Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and the cloud gaming market share. I think it'll be much harder for the FTC to actually win in this thing on August 2nd in court. So maybe they're just going to come to a deal beforehand rather than wasting all that time and going to court. Unless they believe that if they do go to court on August 2nd, they have a very, very strong case. So that one is going to be the most interesting thing here to keep your eyes on for this. And hopefully it's all wrapped up relatively soon. And if it does go to court, one thing also to keep your eyes out for are the subpoena documents that we heard about. We know that PlayStation has to provide a bunch of documents specifically about third-party deals. And if any of that stuff gets out into the public, you better believe there's going to be some interesting things to go over. So honestly, kind of hoping it's a little bit that it does go to court just to see those documents, but we'll see what happens. Now, there was another thing here I want to talk about quickly, and that is Jim Ryan. He had an interview, and he was talking about launching PC day one for their PlayStation 5 exclusives. And here is what this says. In an interview with Famitsu, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan shot down the idea of PlayStation 5 exclusive games also launching on PC from day one. Ryan says the primary goal of console first-party games is to build the game for the PlayStation experience. He added that overall reactions from fans have been favorable when games arrive a couple of years after initial release, specifically saying we also fully understand the importance of PS5 exclusive titles. PlayStation Studios' main responsibility is to have people enjoy the game experience using the latest PlayStation. We are increasing the number of PS5 exclusive titles and staggering the release of the PC version. I often have the opportunity to ask game fans for their opinions, and when I ask them about the time lag, they say that selling the PC version 2 or 3 years after the release of the PlayStation version is accepted favorably. So there you have it. Jim Ryan saying they're still going to have a long time horizon after the release of the games on the PlayStation 5 and going forward to PlayStation 6, all that type of stuff, before they release the games on PC. Now, first of all, my initial reaction is I don't believe Jim Ryan, to be completely honest with you. I actually don't believe him when he says this. I think at some point, sooner rather than later, we are going to see PlayStation releasing their games on PC. Maybe not day and date, but at least far closer to the release date and not 2 or 3 years after the release date. And I also find it funny about him saying that he's talked to fans and they find that favorable. I wonder what fans he was talking to, because if you're talking to someone who's been playing the PlayStation games on PC, I don't know how favorable they would think being able to access these games 2 or 3 years after they've actually released on the PS5 is. So I'm assuming he's talking to the PlayStation 5 fanboys, the PlayStation 5 gamers, the ones that just only game on the console and believe that that is the only experience that should have these games right on day one. So that part was interesting, but I truly don't believe Jim Ryan when he is saying this, because we've already started to see PlayStation kind of switch, kind of realize that they're going to have to eventually move on, and they've already started moving on from the exclusive console experience where everything is only available on PlayStation, with releasing games on PC, also opening up PlayStation Mobile, and then trying to tie in everything into one universe with like the whole cinematic thing and TV shows and all of that type of stuff. So they know they have to evolve. And at what point are they going to realize that they have to move past releasing the games just on PS5 on day one? And I think that day is coming sooner than later, especially when we look at what is going on across the industry, specifically with their main competition, which is Xbox, and Xbox opening up their ecosystem. And I know people want to say that Xbox is so far behind because all they do is specifically look at the console sales. But in terms of the amount of money that the Xbox division makes and is going to be making in the future, it's going to be far closer because of their strategy, because they've opened it up to anybody on any device who can get Xbox Game Pass, who can have the PC, has a browser, all that type of stuff, are going to be able to access their ecosystem. And then with Activision Blizzard, if it does officially pass and they're able to start releasing all of those games into the cloud, all of those games into the services on Xbox, that's going to give them another huge boom, plus all of the mobile money they're going to be making from King. I think PlayStation is going to want to try to adjust to get closer to what Xbox is doing. Not saying it's going to be the exact same, but I don't believe Jim Ryan fully when he says that they're just going to keep with releasing first-party PlayStation games 2 or 3 years out after they've released on the PS5. It just doesn't sound like it is the best thing for their business, especially with the way that they have been acting, with kind of slowly adjusting more and more to getting rid of the console exclusivity as the main thing for PlayStation. But I will leave the video there, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.